Hello friends, Jemukobo or Avon Hoove here, welcoming you to the Scherzo of Iron and Blood rerun 2020 edition. Originally the event came out, I think that was May 23 last year. Incidentally, that's the birthday of my big bro. Ah, okay, before I get sidetracked, for the sake of originality, given there are more famous Azur Lane Youtubers out there, will probably cover this event. And honestly, I'd be too busy spamming the event maps anyway to actually uh, try and develop a more robust coverage of this one. I decided to just focus on what I do best and think wishful thoughts. Now, in the spirit of that, our topic for today would be mechanics and additional quality of life improvements for players in the context of uh, spamming event maps or farming in general. Now, I'm open to uh, feedback, and although so far I don't get too many comments on my videos, reality that I've grown to embrace, but I hope to change eventually. Especially if I do videos like this where I present my wishful thoughts and ideas. Hopeful, kind of like a pitch to the devs on improvements that can be added to the game, so that for the sake of the players. Now, imagine this for a second. Of course, you've been spamming the hard mode maps, but don't you find it annoying that we still have to adhere to the restrictions even when we've already established clearing mode, or we're already able to do clearing mode? It's a really big hurdle for folks who really like to use the budget oriented fleets, the oil efficient ones in particular, because the map restrictions, although in event maps, to be fair, is much more lenient compared to the story maps, the hard mode for the story maps. It's still a bitter reality that we still get restrictions even after spamming the map for God knows how many times, just so we can get a safe rating for the threat level. Now, to supplement this, my proposition to the devs would be to find or strike a balance, a compromise. What type of compromise are we talking about? Now, complete removal of restrictions to the map. Maybe make this an additional thing. After getting to safe level, uh, require additional clears so that we can remove the restrictions on the ship types that we can use for particular maps, especially in event hard mode maps. As for the that would be nice to that would be nice to have for the story mode or normal mode maps, non-event maps, I mean. But I'd be fine if they keep the restrictions there just for the sake of I don't know if we can call it balance. I'm not. I mean, just for the sake of it, of keeping the compromise. Okay. After that, another proposition I'd like to make, especially in light of uh, clearing mode, or I mean, when it comes to rushing through the event maps, would be a something like a reckless mode or a rush mode for the for normal ships. Kind of like, let me just describe it something like this: a mode where you don't have to transition into the shoot 'em up section of the game, where it just looks like kind of like when the submarines attack. The normal fleets give the normal fleets, the surface fleets, the ability to do that, and to compromise, maybe um, kind of like imagine when you hit a tile where there's an airstrike, something like that, but you hit enemy ships, increase the rate of damage or the risk of damage, the rate of sustaining damage for all ships in the fleet, and then I don't know how the computation would go for that, but the devs know their math, and not just that they'd be able to do that, provided give a limit, kind of like the buff. So as long as we have the plentiful ammo buff, maybe if you're using a repair ship, so that's 3 runs, or where you don't have to transition into the actual shoot 'em up screen or the battle screen, if that's what you call that. Basically, give us the ability to rush through maps at least half the time, while we still have the plentiful buff. Give the option, of course, high risk, high reward. Maybe to compromise. Our goal is simply to clear the map quickly so that we could get to the clearing mode faster. Reduce the drops that we could get because we're rushing through it in the context of how gameplay would go. And then while we're rushing, of course, increase the risk of sustaining damage for the entire fleet, kind of like an airstrike, but this reckless mode or rushing mode, we destroy enemy fleets without transitioning to the battle screen. Since auto, let's not beat around the bush. Auto battle is a thing in this game, and I've run into plenty of situations where the time limit, literal time limit, ran out on me while trying to spam the event maps on the last day. So I'd love to have this option or addition in future events. And what else? Another great thing that I'd love to see in the future is events, or maybe World 14 or World 15 future story maps to be added, would have us use more than 2 fleets. I remember when the system to when it was implemented that we'd be able to build up to 6 fleets. I thought that we were transitioning towards a towards missions structured with 6 fleets in mind, or more than anything more than 2 fleets. I also had hoped that that would be a thing in the future. When I forgot which event that was, where there were moving enemies and we had to defend a point or a base in the map. More tactical battles like that would be much appreciated. Heck, I also wish there was a mode where individual ships are like in Super Robot Tyson, but that's just me. Maybe make a spin-off Azur Lane, but with in the style of Super Robot Tyson or Fire Emblem. That would be nice. What else? At this point, I guess since we're in the subject of mm, using more than one fleet, how about give us the ability to not exactly treat this like a commission, but rather be able to send out one of the 6 fleets that we have to auto farm. Well, that might be me pushing it to the limit, but I'm just tossing it out there. Maybe we can set a map that particular fleet. For example, we can set fleet 5 and fleet 6 to spam 7-2, passively spam it, of course, with compromises to the drop rates, and with a threshold to the amount of oil to be consumed, depending on, of course, the mathematics behind it. Now, what would what good would that do? Well, for one thing, it'd be nice to have that when you're farming or grinding for the priority ships. And then there's also the matter of farming for coins. Maybe have it get to compromise further. You'd only be able to farm a particular resource, whether you're granted the option of focusing on um, coins, but you sacrifice everything else, or you can focus on farming the rates for upgrade plates. I forgot what's those thingies were called, but basically I always run into a shortage of blue plates. Reinforce. I think the term is reinforcement plates. I'm gonna check it out later, but I'll just enhance some ships while it's making me stop my campaign. Now, on the subject of wishful thinking, since we're tossing out ideas or pitches towards the devs, how about we get a well optimized PC version for Azur Lane? I don't know. I'd love it if that was a thing. I also actually, well, I can just chalk it up to my laptop being not that good. But given the type of specs that we got from on PC right now, especially with Ryzen and stuff, I think it would be great if we get a full-fledged PC version. I don't think this is all too demanding anyway. But well, I guess that's it. I've run out of thoughts on the subject of other stuff I'd like the devs to add in the future. But maybe it's just my desire for improved QoL, and it is a self-serving thing. Wishful thoughts are like that anyway. Just being truthful, and this is my time to stay original because I know the Scherzo of Iron Blood will get coverage from other YouTubers, and I wanted to do a video on that hours ago. Unfortunately, I was too sleepy to do that. Over here, the where I'm from, the maintenance concluded sometime around midnight or 11. But when I tried to log in 11, I wasn't able to do that, and then there was that downloading the patch, so that took a really long time. But anyway, before I get just sidetracked and might as well cut the video off at this point. Now, friends, comrades, cultured folks, I appreciate it if you actually got to this point. All the YouTube stuff, if you feel like it, the subscribing, the liking, the commenting, all that would be much appreciated. It would be great if you could help me to my journey. Maybe eventually get qualify for monetization. But that we all dream that. If you want to request any topic or ask me to check out your channel or whatever, I'd gladly do that. Just throw me a comment. I'll try my best to read it. I don't have much in the way of comments to read anyway, because even if I do get views, people rarely comment. Makes me sad, but I just want to carry on, keep making videos, and live the dream through effort, and eventually get to a point where I'm able to do this full time. And that's it. Avon Hoob, Zembakobo signing out. Thank you again for watching the video if you did, and I hope to see you next time.